So we begin with breaking news out of Australia, where a court has overturned the government's decision to cancel Novak Djokovic's visa. The tennis star is being released from immigration detention, meaning he can now compete in the Australian Open next week. His lawyers argued he should be granted a vaccine exemption to enter Australia because he had been infected with coronavirus in the past 6 months.
The decision of the delegate to cancel the applicant's temporary activity subclass 408 visa made on 6 January 2022 be quashed. 2. The respondent pay the applicant's cost bracket, including any reserved cost bracket, comma, as agreed or assessed. 3. The respondent is to take all necessary steps to cause, new line 3.1, the applicant to be released immediately and forthwith from immigration detention.
Well, Sarah Clarke is following the case from Brisbane in Australia. So, Sarah, so we have a decision. Tell us about that. And is this the end of it? Djokovic can now play?
Well, it's been a day of delays, adjournments, technical glitches. The live network site where we were all tuning into collapsed on a number of occasions, and the adjournments have been happening every hour. We had expected this court hearing to go on potentially for days, but certainly into this evening. But the judge has come back and said he wants Djokovic to be released immediately from his detention, and he found the decision to cancel his visa was simply unreasonable. And as you mentioned, he's also ordered that Djokovic's costs be paid by the government. He also ordered that his passport and other personal items be returned. So I should state that when they say ordered to be released immediately, that the government's got 30 minutes now to release Djokovic from his detention hotel in Carlton in Melbourne. So Tran, who's the lawyer, the legal counsel representing the government, he has noted in the court hearing this afternoon that they will comply with these orders, but a personal power of cancellation was still being considered. So Tran had requested on a number of occasions in the hearing on Monday that they get more time. The government requested more time on the weekend. They wanted this hearing to be on Wednesday, simply to gather more evidence and get more submissions and delay this hearing, simply by the sounds of it, because they didn't have a strong enough case. Tennis Australia will be welcoming this decision. Obviously, Djokovic is a draw card for this. Tennis Australia last week had made the announcement that medical exemption, which was approved by 2 independent medical panels, it had been approved. So on Wednesday, of course, that's when he arrived, and the Prime Minister and Border Force officers intervened, and of course Djokovic was detained for a number of hours at Tullamarine Airport before his visa was cancelled. So this is certainly a surprise, and the judge has decided in Djokovic's favour, and he has now allowed for him to be released from his detention. Right,
so what you're saying is that the government counsel, Christopher Tran, he can sanction the immigration minister, Alex Hawke, or Alex Hawke, the immigration minister, can now consider whether to exercise a personal power, a personal judgment of cancelling the visa. Is that still possible?
Yes. It is. So the saga is definitely not over yet. The government said it's looking at the next steps. Chris Tran, as we mentioned, is the legal counsel for the federal government. He says the immigration minister now holds the right or reserves the personal power to remove Djokovic from Australia. And it's the immigration minister because the Home Affairs minister was privy or part of Monday's federal court hearing in Melbourne. So this ruling doesn't guarantee that Djokovic will be able to compete in the Australian Open, which he's won 9 times. The government has warned in court that it may still cancel Djokovic's visa a second time, even after this court decision. So the saga is ongoing, but the government here will be fighting to uphold its very tough border restrictions, which require double vaccination for non-citizens. So the saga is ongoing.
All right, Sarah, thanks for that. Sarah Clarke there in Brisbane following that case of Novak Djokovic.